Okay, I'm back in Florida after my almost 2-week trip in California, and as you guys know, if you've been watching, I was able to ride around all of California on the Can-Am Canyon, specifically the Redrock model. So after riding around for 2 weeks and 45 hours and almost 1,700 miles, I feel like I can give a really honest review, and I'll explain in this video why my next Can-Am is going to be another Can-Am F3 and not the Canyon. So stay tuned and stay to the end and I'll explain why. Hello everyone, welcome back to RykerRydes, Spyder rides, and of course Canyon rides. So I have been on this beauty riding around all over California, the hills. I've ridden on the beaches. I have ridden on some dirt trails. I have ridden on the twisties, and I've ridden on the Pacific Coast Highway, all over on this beautiful canyon. So here is my review, my actual thoughts on how I think this thing handles. All right, so my overall assessment of the Canyon Redrock is it is a different ride. Someone asked me, what do I like better, the Canyon or my Ryker? There's no comparing the two, and there's really no comparing this to a Spyder. It really, to the RT or the F3, it's its own vehicle, it's its own ride. And I just can't, you really can't even make a comparison. I'm gonna try to, but it's more, you're so high up on the canyon, so it rides very different. So it took me literally 5 minutes to get used to that height difference. And once I did, I rode it like it was nothing and it was very easy to get used to. But it does take a small learning curve for that height. And the off-road, the rugged wheels make it awesome for any kind of rocky roads, fire roads, dirt roads, bumps in the road, speed bumps. You don't have to worry about it with those wheels and that height clearance. So I really like that aspect of it. The seat itself is a comfortable seat, but it was definitely missing a backrest, and I think for 2026 they had introduced the backrest to it. So riding without a backrest was, for me, very uncomfortable. I have lower back issues, so we'll start with that. So I need lumbar support. So without the lumbar support, it definitely was a little bit of an uncomfortable ride for me. Because of that, because I'm short, and for me to reach the handlebars, I'm in this kind of a riding position and leaning forward. So it just takes some fine tuning to get it to where you want. This is a loaner bike from Can-Am, so I didn't make any adjustments to it. But if I was making adjustments to it, I would bring the handlebars in a little closer and then a backrest to push me a little further. That would have been perfect. What else do I love about it? I love all the storage on it. I've been riding now for almost 2 weeks, and I put on 1,500 miles and a bunch of hours on this, and the storage has been great. I've collected stuff along the way, as you do when you're traveling, and all my original stuff fits in here perfectly. Even though it is missing the front storage area like you see on the Spyders. I really didn't even miss it because these are so big. I'll try to put up the exact measurements, the cubic inches that you have between the two, or between the three, the RT, the F3, and the Canyon. But I gotta tell you, the Canyon really had a lot of space. The rugged look is its own unique look. It's not as sleek or as sporty maybe as the F3, or definitely not as sporty as the Ryker. But again, it has that aggressive riding. I've been told by just people coming up to me, telling me that they thought it was apocalyptic looking. They thought it was military looking. I think the military green kind of gives it that perspective as well. I've gotten so many head turns on this. This is reminding me when I first got my Ryker back in 2019, and everyone was like stopping me in traffic, like, what is that? What is that? And I'm getting the same kind of head turns from this. People are very curious about it. People love it. So it's really kind of an eye-catching machine when you're out there. And I had about 10 people test ride it, including a couple of two-wheeler guys, and everyone seems to really, really like it. All right, so what I would change about it for me, again, personally, to make my ride more comfortable, is so it has the foot pegs, and with the foot pegs, it has this nice lip. I don't know if I'm catching it. It has this nice lip here that catches you when you're doing like really leaning into it, which is great. But when I'm a long distance rider, so I like to ride, 5-6 hours a day, ride cross country. Having foot pegs versus floorboards, basically I miss my floorboards. I get antsy where to put my feet. I like different positions. It makes riding a little less tiresome if I can change positions quite a bit. So I kept going back and forth between putting my feet here on the driver's pegs and on the passenger pegs. But I really wish it had floorboards. But I think floorboards would ruin the aesthetics of the aggressive look on it. I also took full advantage of the smart shocks. And we're able to kind of play around with those. It's very adjustable on the screen, and I love that aspect of it. I even got a chance to use I had some cold weather here the first thing in the morning, California, and I was able to use the heated grips. Were great. Trying to think of anything else that I loved about it. I love the mirrors. Let me kind of go back this way. I love the mirrors. It gives you a nice viewpoint, wide view. What else can I say? This is an essential. This is an aftermarket, not aftermarket. It's an accessory from Can-Am. This tank bag is phenomenal. I've never really used a tank bag before in my F3, and I gotta tell you, I love it. That quick access is great, so I highly recommend that if you get it. And it also has lots of things you can put on here if you're really doing large storage, long riding, you need more storage. There's a lot of accessories you can put on here, as well as bungee straps. So you can really go far with it. And also I liked having these handlebars on here, these guards on here. Just kind of makes you feel more safe when you're riding. You're not gonna get a rock on you, even though you're wearing gloves. What else? The screen, the big, huge screen. I'll get of that was perfect. The touchscreen on there, like all the new models have, not just the Canyon, but all the RTs and Spyders and newer models have that. And all right, so the windshield for my height, and it does raise, this knob raises it up and down manually. And for me, because I'm so short, I think, I just couldn't get the correct spot for the windshield. I got a little bit of buffering with it, but I think, again, that's just because I'm short. But anyway, that's my full, honest opinion of this. I love all the little accessories that it has. I think that's my favorite part, is all the add-ons that you can do on this. And if any questions about anything, the mileage per gallon on the highway was great, was very typical of a Can-Am. I think I'm at 34, 35 miles per gallon on this, which is pretty similar to my F3. So it's very similar in that respect. The visibility is great because you're higher up. I did love that part. Because you're higher up, you have a much more of a road presence. And I do feel like cars, trucks, whatever, saw me a lot better than if I'm on my Ryker or the F3, which is lower. If you have any questions, any comments, please, I will address them openly and honestly in the comments section. So please feel free to ask me anything and I'll answer you. So thank you again for watching, and ride safe, everybody. Have fun. Life is an open road. Enjoy it. Bye, everybody. Let me start by saying how much I did, in fact, love riding the Canyon. And I specifically loved riding it on the dirt trails and all that kind of stuff. And I think if that is your goal for buying the Canyon or getting into Can-Am, I think that is the most perfect vehicle you can choose. Like if you live on a dirt road or you live in an area where you can ride the mountains with your friends and do a little bit of some like light trail riding, you know, whatever the situation is, I think that's great. For me, here in Florida, there's really no place like that to ride. Everything's flat. There's not a super lot of really good trail riding going on here. My purpose for why I ride is to see places that are far from Florida. I like to get out of Florida as much as possible. I ride long distance, as I've mentioned before, and this baby is the most comfortable for me, for my height, for my seating position, that relaxed feel when you're riding. I like that you're kind of sitting in the Can-Am, in the Spyder, versus like this on the Canyon. So that, it's really a preference. For me, my honest preference is this all day long. I love my F3, and I've ridden in RTs that are also too big for me. So it's really a preference, it's a size thing, but I mean, it did great on the highway. I'm not saying it was a bad ride on the highway. It just wasn't as comfortable for long distance riding for me as the Can-Am F3. So again, if you're looking to go on, you know, trail rides and that kind of stuff, or go motor camping with it, the Canyon is amazing vehicle choice for you. But for me, all day long, I love my F3. So again, if you have any questions, hit me up. And thank you again for watching. Bye, everybody.